What? No way. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Silly, stupid, a four-door Porsche. Those were some of the comments that petrolheads, fans of the Porsche brand, and journalists made when this thing came out back in 2009. And we're now in 2025, and this thing is still here. It's probably one of the best-selling units for Porsche. I mean, you see these things everywhere. Now, here's some interesting facts about the Panamera. It was the first ever full-size luxury sedan from Porsche. At one point, this thing held the fastest record for a luxury sedan at the Nürburgring. Another fact is that this thing sells very well in China. It seems like Chinese people love driving a Panamera. Another interesting fact is that the Panamera has been tested at the same 911 track that Porsche uses to test their 911 vehicles. The idea behind the Panamera was to create a luxury sedan that was fast, that you wouldn't compromise performance, but yet you can make use of it on day-to-day. And instead of making a regular sedan look like, they decided to design their own way. And they said, forget about everybody, we're going to design this our own way, make our own style. And there's not that many competitors to these vehicles. One of those could potentially be the BMW 6 Series, or now it's the 8 Series, which is also going to be discontinued, and the Mercedes AMG GT, which came in later on. In some ways, Mercedes got the inspiration from the Panamera. It's not a sedan, it's not a sportback. So what is it? It's a Panamera. It has its own unique design, looking the side profile all the way to the back. In some ways, people would argue that this is probably a sportback because the Audi A7, which shares the same platform as this, is essentially a sportback design. But having looked at them side by side, the difference is noticeable, including the rear end. One thing that you see with the Panamera is it's got a more beefed up side profile, more muscular compared to the Audi A7, which is a bit more flush to the back and including the side profile. Unless you go all the way to the RS7, which is the more performance version, of course, it has wider fenders. Trunk space. And the reason I say that is because this thing is equipped with this bag that you see in here. And this is your cable to charge. It's the plug-in and comes in real handy if you're going to the cottage or if you're going anywhere else that you need to charge it and you can't find like a level 2 charger. This is probably the best thing to come with it. Having said that, if you don't care about the fuel efficiency, you can just leave this at home. But if you do carry this with you, it doesn't give you the most space. Like, for example, I'm going to park this thing right on the side and I'm going to put this giant case of mine flat all the way. There we go. And then I have one more bag, which is also pretty large. Here you go. And let's try and close it. It's not going to close. Because the way this thing is shaped on the side here, it doesn't give you the most cargo space. Now you might say, well, Sam, you might have space inside, but let's just say you're carrying 4 people. There's not much space there, unless you can buy actual rails for the top, which this doesn't have the option with this package because you've got the panoramic roof all the way across. So what you have to do is, in some cases, figure out a way to adjust the space here, move everything around. And as you can see, there's a bit of space on this side, a bit of space on that side, and that's about it. And let's attempt to close the tailgate. Oh, there you go. Now let's jump into the second row. Let me show you what it offers and space. Here we go. The seat in the front is set as if I was the driver, so it gives you a perspective of how much space you get. And it's pretty roomy in the second row. But with this package, you don't get a seat in the middle and they charge you for it. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to pay for a seat delete? The whole idea makes no sense. It does have an armrest in the middle that has two cup holders. There you go. It has its own panoramic roof in here, separate from the front side. It's a split option with the centerpiece. But the good news is that it does have heated seats in the back. What disappoints me is that it doesn't have ventilated seats with this package. Like, that's a bit strange. I find that for the amount of money you pay, that should have been standard. Another thing I wish it came with this package is sunshades, like automatic ones. Should be pretty basic with this package, like the standard feature to have in this car. The good thing is that it does come with the climate unit control in the back for both sides, so it's a dual zone in this case, and it does have heated seats for both sides. Now this centerpiece here, if you do opt for this option, makes everything else useless around this area because it takes so much space. But you do get quite a good amount of leg room, and one of my favorite things is this seat in the front. The shape of that is just super unique. You got some space in the center, but this is a two-seat setup. I wouldn't recommend to get this option. In terms of USB-C ports, well, they're located right on the side here, and you've got some space. Maybe you can put your sunglasses in here, or maybe your phone. Comes in real handy. Visibility in the back, it's interesting. It doesn't have quite the best visibility. There's a little tiny window because this thing is shaped that way. Therefore, you have to compromise space and design. That's what matters. The rear end gives you some space, but not a lot. The good news is for the driver, if you're sitting in front over there, guess what? Well, you don't have to like stress out for space. You don't have to worry about the rear side window because there's no one sitting in the middle, so that way you get better visibility. Now, here's one thing that kind of annoys me about this car. It's this screen. Every time I turn it on, I have to go through this. Is it because it's a press car, or do you guys feel the same with your own vehicles? Because I don't understand this. Like, I have to do this every single time. Okay, use online, blah, blah, blah. And you get into the screen. Now, the vehicle is equipped with, of course, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You've got tons of settings. It does have a built-in map. But what I do like about this map is that even though it's not fully electric, it is a plug-in hybrid. It does give you the option to search for the nearby, well, charging stations, which is nice and handy. And it is also powered by Google search. So you can use Google online search in this case to search for an address, which is nice and handy. It is also equipped with a 360 camera and park assist. In this case, you can have parking sensors around you, and vehicle will search for the nearest parking and it will essentially park itself. You also have a 360 view. They didn't match the color of this car on the outside, and it's definitely not a 4S, but hey, that's okay. Which is the passenger screen. Now, my wife is sat in the front here and she hasn't used it once, so I don't understand why they put this. Is it here like a gimmick, or is this a different experience, or they're hoping that some people will actually use it? Personally, I don't know the answer. What I do know is that it comes with this package, and you do have a couple of options. Your built-in navigation system, you can control the music, the phone. I'm not sure if you do that, but essentially the passenger will answer the phone for you. That's pretty cool. And if you're looking at the screen as a driver, you can't see in it because it wants to make sure it doesn't distract you. I've been driving this thing for a week now. It's my first time having one for a full week. I've driven it before multiple times, including the Turbo GT version, including the high performance version, but I've never actually driven it as a daily, and I've come to love it a bit. I wouldn't say hate it, but dislike it a bit. And there's some things that I don't like about this vehicle, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the positive things. This car doesn't drive like any other sedans out there. It's so different from the BMW 5 Series or even the 7 Series, the Mercedes E-Class, the Audi A7 or A6 for that matter. It's a whole different experience when you're daily driving something like this. And I'm not just talking about people staring at you, especially with this exterior color, but also the way this thing drives is not like a sedan. When you're inside, it actually feels like you're driving a sports, let's say a 911, for example, like a sports car. Now, I picked this up Monday. Today is Friday, and here's what I've gotten in terms of fuel efficiency. The average since I refueled, which was before I picked up the car, 11.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is actually quite impressive for this vehicle. And then the average total trip, meaning myself and everybody else that drove, 11.8. It also shows you the E-trip, meaning the amount that you drove with the battery. And this one says 8.40 emission, and it was 29.3 kilowatts hour per 100 kilometers. And then we've got total E-trip, 127.8. So out of 296, 127 kilometers, that was zero emission. Another thing to love about the Porsche engineering in general is the launch control. And this car is just as good as the rest of them, and it blows my mind. And it's pretty simple to do, but it has two types of launch controls. Because it is an electric vehicle, well, hybrid in this case, it does have an E-Hybird launch control. Unfortunately, I don't have a battery, so I can't test it, but I've done it before. It's not fast, but it's okay. We're gonna test out the combined launch control, which is the hybrids plus the electric motor and the ICE engine. So we're gonna put this into Sport Plus. The vehicle lowers itself, and in this case, we're gonna put the power boost, which gives you 20 seconds of power boost. And here we go into drive, launch control. Oh my God. Whoa. That's crazy. 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Horsepower, 535 brake horsepower and 556 pound-feet of torque. It is equipped with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, PDK, automatic. It is all-wheel drive, mostly rear-biased, and this monstrosity is equipped with a 2.9-liter V6 bi-turbo engine, which essentially is powered and mated to an electric motor, which gives you all that horsepower. Now, here's something interesting about this car that shocked me when I saw it. Not necessarily the number, but the fact that you don't feel it. This car weighs close to 5,000 pounds, and you don't feel that at all. The handling of this machine is incredible compared to other cars that weigh the same. It actually drives like a sports car, not like a sedan. You don't even feel the weight in this vehicle. This vehicle is not just equipped with air suspension, it's adaptive air suspension. And based on the driving modes, it will adjust the stiffness and make it comfortable when needed. There's one little thing that I wish they would have fixed in this car, and that's the exhaust notes. It does have quad exhaust in the back, but compared to other vehicles, it's a bit muffled. So how much is this thing gonna cost you with this fancy air suspension system? Well, I've got the bill right here. This one in Canada starts at $148,000, which would be essentially about $110,000 to $150,000 USD. Because of that air suspension system, you're adding $8,000 with that fancy raising and lowering the vehicle when you open and close the door. Next thing, it costs a lot of money in this one is the premium package, which offers like 4-zone control, heated seats, and so on, air quality system. All in, before delivery and taxes and charges, $181,000. Out of the dealership, $184,000. Now, someone looking at that, they go, that's a $200,000 daily sedan or a daily Porsche Panamera. So let me tell you a little bit why some people don't really care about that price. First is because they love the car. Second, once you become part of this Porsche family, you got yourself into a list, and that list will provide you with other vehicles. Like if you want to get something exclusive from Ferrari, well, you have to buy the lower level models to get to the limited edition models. It will be very much the same like this one. Now you're in the list, now you're in the family, and most people don't really care. They'll lease this. It's a beautiful vehicle. For the rest of us that don't want to pay full price, guess what? These vehicles don't hold their value very well. That means that you can go into a used Porsche dealership, for example, and pick one up for maybe half the price of what this thing costs brand new. And you can also get a warranty, and you're still part of the family, or you can buy it from anybody else that is not a Porsche dealership.